Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Power of Knowing Forum event. Today we are joined by Radhika Bali, an image sculptor, personality and image sculptor, founder of AKS by Radhika, also the president, elected president at Professional Speakers Association, India, New Delhi. Hello Radhika, welcome to our show.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much, Vijay.
Hi
Thank you for
Radhika.
joining us today. Hello Prem.
Hi Vijay. Hi Radhika.
Hi, Prem.
Today we are going to talk on the unseen power business etiquette as a catalyst for leadership influence. Let's dive into the discussion.
Sure.
Radhika, how does cultivating strong business etiquette contribute to building a leader's influence within an organization?
Yeah, thank you, Vijay. That's a beautiful question. Well, cultivating a strong business etiquette builds a leader's influence by establishing the three main factors. First, being your trust, which is very important for any business house or an individual. Second, is the credibility. What is the credibility that you hold in the market, uh, in your professional arena? Third is the respect. Without a strong trust, credibility, and respect, it is not possible for anybody, for any leader to establish any business influence with any organization. So, creating a positive organizational culture that encourages collaboration and teamwork is very important. Now, let me give you a small example of this. We all exchange our visiting cards, right? But we don't really understand the importance of a visiting card in a business arena. For us, a visiting card is something that carries our number, our company's name, and we're giving it to somebody so that they remember us. But most of the time, what do people do? They don't even read your card, they just put it away somewhere. So there is talking about cultural etiquette of different countries. Now, in Japan, exchanging a business card, which is called meishi, is done with both hands. So you hold your card with both the hands and you bend forward, which is a mark of giving respect to somebody. A very slight bow or bending forward. And then, so this emphasizes respect. And this is how you exchange your cards. Now, if leaders who observe and adhere to this practice of demonstration through cultural sensitivity, establishing a positive impression and influence, the person they're dealing with, if they are sensitive about the culture of that country, they will definitely have a positive influence and will be able to crack their deals through. I hope this answers your question, Vijay.
Yes, thank you, Radhika. The main takeaway is being strong, trust, credibility, and respect. Thank you for that insight. In what ways can business leaders leverage etiquette as a strategic tool for effective communication and relationship building?
Okay, so as business leaders, we can always leverage on etiquette as a strategic tool by demonstrating active listening, um, that is, clear communication and empathy, fostering meaningful connections with team members, clients, as well as stakeholders. Well, again, going back to international etiquette, or say business etiquette as per a global business etiquette, I would say. I will share an example of Middle East here. Now shifting from the Far East to the Middle East. In Middle East, building relations is very crucial in business. So inviting your colleagues over, maybe for a meal, or especially during the Ramadan period when they have the Ramazans going on, it not only showcases a proper hospitality etiquette, but also as a strategic way to strengthen professional connections outside the formal working settings. So they very strongly believe in building these relationships. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Thank you.
What? Thank you for that, Radhika. What are the specific culture nuances in business etiquette leaders need to be mindful in a globalized business environment?
Again, a very beautiful question, Prem, and thank you so much for that question. When we talk about cultural nuances in business etiquette, so leaders require or need to adapt their approach, understanding the diverse customs. Talking about just India, when I talk
Okay.
about India itself, in every state, one state to the other state, our customs, our communication styles are very different. So adapting these diverse customs, communication styles, and expectations to build effective relationships in a globalized business environment is very important. Now, here again, from we went from east to far east to Middle East, and now going back to east again, talking about our friendly neighborhood, China. Now, the concept of Guanzi is very famous in China. So this concept is called. It actually means building strong personal connections. So if you're dealing with somebody from that side, building strong personal connections is very vital. Now, business leaders who understand and respect this cultural nuance are more likely to navigate a negotiation successfully, as relationships are often a precursor to any business interaction. So, keeping these things in mind and then going ahead with who you're dealing with, what is their cultural nuance, how do they deal with things in their country. As we also say, do in Rome as the Romans do. So, that is a
True,
difference
true.
that it makes. I hope it clears your
Yeah, it clears
query.
it, Radhika. Now, how do people practice proper business etiquette, impacting team dynamics on the overall workplace culture? So,
Okay, so talking about team dynamics,
yeah,
right? So practicing proper business etiquette positively impacts team dynamics by promoting a respectful and inclusive workplace culture, enhancing employee morale, and facilitating open communication. Now, let's move towards the west, talking about Sweden. In Sweden, there is a very strong emphasis on egalitarian, egalitarian. I hope I'm spelling it right. Egalitarianism,
okay,
which is leaders who embrace open communication, value inputs from all the team members, and maintain a flat organizational structure contribute to a positive team dynamics aligned with the Swedish business culture as well. So again, understanding the business culture and the team dynamics that are being followed in a particular country you are dealing with or you are doing business with, and behaving in the same manner so that they feel that yes, they are willing and open to deal with us, to work with us, to do business with us, and they have done some homework and they have taken that extra effort or taken that extra step to understand our culture. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. With varied cultures, the email etiquette completely changes, is what we get to understand, Radhika. Correct me if I'm wrong. And while we discuss also, there is a difference the way you call people or greet people in UK versus in the US, while in the Middle East, there are a lot of differences in the way we greet people and the way we write mails to them, right, Radhika? If
Right.
I, yeah,
Absolutely.
okay,
So, again, talking about the email etiquette.
okay,
Now, digital communication, as we all know, especially in today's world, plays a very vital and a crucial role in any business or business etiquette, and requiring leaders to maintain that professionalism in a virtual environment is very important through clear and concise written communication, video conferencing, etiquette, and timely responses. Most of the time, when we get emails, we do not respond timely. We at times tell ourselves, okay, let me finish this work, then I will sit and give the reply of the emails, which is not the right practice. So, responding to the emails timely is very important. Now, you were talking about Britain, UK, and US. So, let me give you an example of US. So, in the United States, timely and concise email communication is very vital. Leaders who respond promptly, use clear language, and follow email etiquettes contribute to the professional digital environment, enhancing their influence in a tech driven, so as we call it these days, a tech driven business landscape. So if you're not very prompt with your email replies, probably they will think that you are not serious about the work, and they may give it a second thought or think about whether they really want to do business with you and take this collaboration ahead or not. I hope that answers your question.
yes, Radhika, much much as you say, the points are very valid, and each culture has a different way of responding to mails. Over to you, Vijay.
Can you share some examples of how business leaders have successfully used these etiquettes to navigate challenging situations and conflicts?
Sure, Vijay. We can definitely share some examples with you for that. And talking about business leaders navigating challenging situations, using the etiquettes to manage conflicts diplomatically, focusing on constructive dialogues, and finding common grounds for resolutions. So, we can only find common grounds if we are aware of the culture of the other country or the other state. So before dealing with a person, like when we do business with somebody, we usually do our due diligent research in finding out what product are they dealing with, what is their market like, and where do we what is their standing in the market, how to deal with them, whether should we go ahead and do business with them, is it going to be viable for us or not. So while doing that, even understanding the culture of that place and seeing what is that common ground between the two really helps. So talking about since we're talking about different countries, so in Brazil, uh, addressing conflicts indirectly is very common. Now, a lot of people do direct confrontation. They confront the other person directly. But in Brazil, it is usually a very indirect um conflict resolution. Not confronting people directly is very common. So leaders who employ a very diplomatic approach in addressing the issues, focusing on the solutions and maintaining harmony within the team, that is within their organization, or with the people they're dealing with, is considered to be good. So if you're dealing with somebody, say in Brazil, then aligning yourself with the Brazilian culture preferences for avoiding a direct confrontation would definitely help you do a better business deal with people of that place in that country. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Radhika, thank you for that example. Also, you added the country where they follow the indirect resolutions.
Yeah.
To what extent does digital communication play a role in business etiquette, and how can leaders maintain the professionalism in virtual environments?
So, digital communication in today's world definitely plays a very important and a vital or a crucial role in business etiquette, requiring leaders to maintain the professionalism on a virtual ground, a virtual environment, through clear and concise written communication through the emails. Again, talking about video conferencing. So, a lot of people these days have a habit of not turning on their videos. But in a though it's a video conferencing, so it's a personal this thing. You must keep your videos on while you're conversing with the other person. Otherwise, it looks like you're talking to the walls, and the confrontation, the conversation is not very clear. The way you dress up, last time we spoke about first impression. So when we go for a meeting, otherwise we take care of the nuances of how to dress up and everything. So even when you're sitting in a video conferencing call, you need to be dressed very professionally so that you're taken seriously. Then timely responses and being on time. So even if it is when we're talking about a video conferencing or a virtual conferencing, making the other person wait is not a good idea or a good habit. So if you have a time to log in at, you have given somebody a time to meet somebody, then you must ensure that you are there on time and you're not making the other person wait. So again, talking about examples, we can again quote countries like US and UK, where they're very particular. We just spoke about the email etiquettes of United States. um, we can talk about Germany. Now, Germans are very professional, and in Germany, direct communication is valued. Leaders who have balanced assertiveness and diplomacy, acknowledging different perspectives and providing constructive feedbacks, aligning with German business culture and fostering collaborations is very important. Then just as Germany, we also talk about. So yes, talking about Germany, US, UK, South Africa, France, China, or Japan, any of these countries, it is very important to first of all understand what is their culture, and then keeping in mind the basic etiquettes of being professionally dressed, being on time, um, keeping all the other distractions away, not attending to other phone calls or talking or having background noises. All this definitely does make a difference. I hope that answers your question. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. So I was on mute. Sorry about it. How does incorporation of diversity and inclusion considered in business etiquette and practices contributing to effective leadership? How is leadership taking it as an etiquette? So can you throw some light on that, Radhika?
So, incorporating diversity and inclusion into
Mhm.
business etiquette practices involves recognizing and respecting cultural differences.
Okay.
That is very important, and promoting equal opportunities and ensuring that all individuals feel valued and included.
Okay.
So, you need to. Now, we all have heard of this concept. The South African concept of embracing uh, Ubuntu,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Which emphasizes on interconnectedness and mutual respect.
Hmm.
So, this is very crucial that having mutual respect and being interconnected. Leaders who incorporate this philosophy into their business interactions, they demonstrate a commitment to diversity and inclusion, promoting a harmonious workplace. So they definitely benefit in comparison to the ones who do not practice this.
Okay. So leadership has a major role to play while we give the culture or the etiquette that is there to be followed across the organization. That is the takeaway, right, Radhika? If I'm
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, what are the common misconceptions about business etiquette that leaders should be aware while they address the personal lives?
So, the common misconceptions usually include viewing it as a mere formality. So, these are
Okay.
not just formalities, these should be used as tools. So, people usually say, oh, etiquette is just a mere formality, but it
Okay.
is not a tool which is used for relationship building.
Mm-hmm.
And neglecting its significance in the age of digital communication definitely brings a drawback towards the business, because etiquette is not merely a tool. Etiquette really helps you build your business or even break it.
Okay.
Now, certain countries are very particular about their own tradition, their own culture, and they are not very flexible at times. Not that they are not flexible, but at times in certain things, they are very emotional about. I would not say not flexible, but they are very emotional about it. In this, we would like to take an example from France. So, in France, socializing outside of work is significant. Now, leaders who understand that social etiquette extends beyond the formal settings of business are better equipped to build a relationship and overcome the misconceptions that etiquette is limited to professional environment. So for them, it is perfectly fine that if you are meeting, you've had a board meeting with somebody for collaboration, and then instead of ending it there, you take it out to a social meeting and meet outside for a meal, or maybe a couple of drinks is perfectly fine for them. That uh, strengthens the bond for a business relationship. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Radhika. So it depends again for country to country, as you rightly said. Few countries, I think in India, taking a drink with the customer is not
Yes,
considered a
absolutely.
good sign. Okay, and that does not give them a feel that they are valued. Something like that is what I understand. But
Absolutely.
there are differences across organizations and the place the business is going on. Rightly, what you said is in Canada and stuff, right? There are people who take the connect beyond work and make it personalized, so they understand the business better and try to see if they can get one kind of a solution or something. Which I think when you are in an office environment, many of the times what we see is people are not open to talk to you, but when you go out and speak in an informal way, there are a lot of things which come up for discussion, and that helps us gain more insights about what the customer is looking at a personal front, and how is he dealing with the personal lives while managing the business life is what I could infer based on your point.
Absolutely.
That's right, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for that, Vijay.
Yeah. How can organization foster a culture that encourages everyone and support the continuous improvement of business etiquette skills among the leadership team?
Okay, so organizations can foster a culture that supports the development of business etiquette skills by providing um, training programs, mentorship opportunities, and promoting the a value-driven leadership approach that prioritizes respectful and ethical behavior. So, again, a very good example that comes to my mind for this is how they do it in Singapore. So, in Singapore, where hierarchical structures are common, organizations can foster a culture of development by encouraging mentorship programs and providing leadership trainings that emphasize the importance of uh, respectful and inclusive business etiquette. So even in India, we have a lot of mentorship programs and training programs that we keep doing. Most of our Eastern countries have quite similar, a lot of similarities with each other. So this is how we can, how organizations can foster a culture that encourages and supports the continuous development of business etiquette skills and become their and among their leadership teams. So, training programs, time to time, updating the people of your organization with other cultures, other the etiquettes of other places, be it within the country or within the organization. So every organization also at times has a different culture that they follow. So understanding the work culture of the other organization you're going to be collaborating with is equally important. I hope that answers your question.
One question that I have with related to etiquette. So, while how do we look at leadership? Our title itself says etiquette as a catalyst for leadership influence. How is that leadership takes that influence to bring a business etiquette, and what are the challenges while we try to bring up this? Because uh, cultures vary, as you said, and uh, based on the countries that are there, and if the organization is in multi-location, an MNC which operates in multi-countries, so
Hmm.
how do we see leaders switch between these etiquettes, and what could be their challenges? How do we see we make the leaders comfortable while they have the business etiquette going on with other regions as well?
So as I said earlier, that of course we just spoke about the
Yeah.
training, and while we're talking about the trainings and the mentorship programs, how did sorry, if you could just repeat the question again, just.
So, because how do you have leadership influence on having this business etiquette followed across country? Because leaders travel across, right? And the etiquette changes by region to region. That's what was my question. So, how do we make that seamlessly helpful for the leaders to go across? How is that training that we need to look at, or is there a challenge that we face in that kind of a situation because companies work across the globe, right?
Absolutely. So companies work across the globe, and yes, people do face challenges with this. The challenges they usually face is because we do not usually think of training our leaders on such things. We do not, most of the time, consider that etiquette would also matter in being a catalyst for our leadership influences. And as a general term, when we talk about etiquette, it gets in our minds, it gets restricted to wishing somebody properly, um, use of sorry, thank you, maybe being a little chivalrous by opening a door for somebody or pulling a chair for somebody. Certain general etiquettes is what we talk about, and then we talk about dining etiquette when it comes to etiquette.
Okay.
But we forget that etiquette does not just is not restricted to only that. There is an etiquette for everything.
Correct.
Just as we spoke about digital etiquette for virtual meetings, for emails, for virtual conferencing, there is an elevator etiquette. How do you travel in an elevator? There are etiquettes for of offices. So if you have cubicles in your office, what are the cubicle etiquettes? Then there are gifting etiquettes,
Okay.
personal gifting and professional gifting etiquette. What should be gifted, how should it be gifted, and when should it be gifted, or whether should you be giving a gift or not. Again, depending on the culture of that particular place and country. We also observe when we have people traveling to India from abroad, they also do a namaste to us. That is because they know that it is the Indian culture to do namaste. And if they do namaste to us, we feel that yes, they are giving us that respect and importance, and the feeling of inclusivity is there. So we also then give reciprocate with the same respect. And then we must at the same time, if we whether we are visiting a different country or we have our business clients visiting us from a particular country, as a homework, just as we study their businesses, about their businesses, we must also study about the culture of that country so that we can make them feel welcome, so that they feel that yes, we are giving them that importance and they are welcomed in our country and we respect their culture. So then they will be more willing to deal with us and work with us and even listen to us. But if you don't give them that respect, they probably will not be willing to even listen to you or respond in the positive manner. So etiquette uh, really helps you in as a catalyst in making or breaking of your businesses or deals. If you're not using the right etiquette, if you're not aware of the etiquette, you can even lose an existing client. And if you're aware of the etiquette, you might gain a client who you have already lost just by using the right etiquette. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, yes, Radhika, it does. I would like to ask Vijay. Vijay, I think, is a person who's there in project management for a very long time, and he does a lot of things on project management. Many of the projects that we do are more when it is an MNC project or multi-location project. uh, they are told to consider the culture first to understand how each region or each country the project gets implemented. First point is you should understand their culture. How do we greet? How do we discuss a problem? How do we present a problem? Varies, right, Vijay? If you can throw some light on culture and stuff that you do in project management, that would add to what Radhika is saying. When we have uh, organizations working in multi-location and MNC, right? So go ahead, Vijay.
Sure, Prem. So in project management, it is very important to understand the cultural differences of the client.
Yeah,
It starts from respecting their time zone, work ethics, and greeting them. For example, Japan, we need to greet them. We have to write an email with a SAN,
Yes.
along with their name. That is very important. That means we respect them. Likewise, we have for Thailand, we have many Eastern countries. Also, when we talk to the client in EMEA location or the US location, the information should be very precise and accurate and straightforward. So these things are very important, and when we work across different countries globally, understanding their cultural differences, also the way of greeting them is very important. As Ratika mentioned, timely joining the call, it is very important for all the locations. Yeah, these are few business etiquettes we need to follow.
yes. Thank you for that, Vijay. I think we are good with the questions. Vijay, if you can summarize. Radhika, thank you for answering our questions that we had as a list of pointers that we wanted to look at etiquette. Vijay, go ahead and summarize, please.
Yeah, thank you, Prem. From this, we have started with a strong trust and credibility, respect that matters for any person. And if we talk about the organization level, uh, promoting value-driven approach is very important. Also, I learned this important thing, focusing on confronting and find the common ground for the resolution. Also, demonstrating active listens is very important when we are meeting our colleagues, stakeholders, and yes, we need to promote the respect and enhance the environment and work culture as well. These are my key takeaways from this event. Thank you, Radhika, for joining us today and giving your great insights on business etiquettes. Hope this is very useful session for the audience as well. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, Prem.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Vijay.
very much, Vijay. Thank you, Prem,
Thank you.
having me over.
Yeah,
It was a pleasure.
thank you, Radhika.